it seems proper on this occasion to respond briefly to 3 questions that I receive with some frequency. Let me say that I will be happy to expand upon these thoughts during the question and answer time. The first question is this: if you're elected, won't you just get sucked into the same old corrupt Washington culture as everyone else? Here's my response. By God's grace, no, I won't. The corruption in Washington, or anywhere else, is a manifestation of our fallen human nature. Like you, I'm a frail and flawed human being. If I stand, it is by grace alone. If you don't believe that there's grace for a politician to be righteous, then please look at the cynicism that has taken hold of your heart and read the book of Daniel. Beliefs lead to words, and words to deeds. If I believe that Jesus has seen me at my most wretched and continues to love me unconditionally, then I am freed from trying to impress my fellow man. The worst someone could do is to discover and broadcast what God and I both already know about my sinfulness. For this reason, I care less about what people think about me than your average dude. When people ask me how I could possibly stand up to powerful Washington politicians and cutthroat special interests, that's my answer. I'm not afraid of what people might say about me. I have nothing to prove to them, and they offer nothing I need. The second and third questions are issue-related. What is your position on abortion? And what is your position on gay marriage? Let me preface my answer to these 2 questions by acknowledging that they loom over the ballot box for social conservatives. These 2 issues, above all others, have come to define modern religious conservatism. As Christians, we have a tendency to make sweeping statements about public policy on the sole basis of the Bible says so. While that's a completely valid reason for making a personal stand on an issue, it's simply insufficient for a secular public sphere that includes plenty of people who don't care what the Bible says. When I was teaching college, I would sometimes read Abraham Lincoln's writings to my students. At the end of an hour of listening to the 16th president rail against slavery, I would pose this question: who in here thinks slavery is wrong? Every hand was raised. Then I would ask a slightly trickier question: who can tell me why slavery is wrong? There was always a long silence before anyone would even attempt an answer. I'm not going to just tell you that abortion is wrong. I'll tell you why I think it's wrong. I don't know a person alive today who believes that infanticide, the killing of a newborn baby, is okay. There have been cultures in history where infanticide was a common practice for dealing with birth defects and other inconvenient situations. Not now. The taking of human life, except in cases of self-defense or declared war, is murder. When a baby comes out of the birth canal, looking like a little yogurt-covered raisin, he or she is still attached to the mother by the umbilical cord. I don't know anybody who thinks it would be okay to terminate a pregnancy at this point, before or after cutting the cord. Well, if you walk backwards from there through the stages of pregnancy and fetal development, there appears to me simply no clear biological marker to delineate between fetus and baby. Trimesters, appearances, everything is extremely subjective. The only objective biological marker that I can locate is the joining of sperm and egg. I therefore place the start of human life at conception. Likewise, I believe that human life deserves protection from that point. I'm pro-life. That means that I oppose abortion except in instances of rape, incest, or clear threat to the mother's life. I also believe that Christians must do a better job of providing an alternative to abortion for the young women who believe they have no other choice. Adoption is a better solution, and we must work tirelessly to promote and streamline the process. We must also never forget that to be truly pro-life requires that we devote ourselves to the mothers and provide them with the love, support, education, and hope that they require. On gay marriage, my answer is simple. I believe that God created marriage as a sacrament and a symbol to demonstrate Christ's love for His people. I believe that God created marriage for one man and one woman to be joined in love, union, and procreation. I'm unwavering in this position. Let me also say that, as Christians, we have done a terrible job defending the institution of marriage. We should not take God's position on divorce with the casualness that we do. We need to look harder in the mirror before we get in a stone-casting mood. Though marriage is reserved for a covenant between a man and a woman, I am never an advocate for discrimination. I believe that gay men and women should not be subject to slurs, hateful treatment, or any other form of abuse. I believe that we are called to love them, even if we don't agree with them. And I also believe that insurance companies and hospitals, not the United States Congress, would be smart to establish contractual unions as opposed to covenantal unions between gay couples so that they could visit each other in the ICU and share in the contractual benefits such as insurance and other aspects of their partnership. None of this in any way violates what I believe to be true about God, about my beliefs, and about the covenant of marriage. In closing, I'm a citizen, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and above all, I'm a believer. Thank you.